A quick PSA to avoid a protein Y2K. The PDB, the Protein Data Bank, is your go-to location for protein and other macromolecular structures. They host all of the structural information, and typically you access the structural information in files using a 4-character PDB ID, this accession number. Now they're running out of those 4-character ones and transitioning to longer extended PDB IDs, which are 12 characters long. And they want you to start making the transition now. So these extended PDB IDs, they're 12 characters long. If you have an older one, what you can do is just add PDB underscore 12340 to the beginning and then the old code. And now you have the extended ID. And this will work already. But none of the extended IDs are compatible with the old .pdb files. So when you go to look at the files that you can download from the PDB, you'll see this legacy PDB format. The legacy PDB format is like .pdb files, and it's not even available for some PDB files, like if the structure is too big or it's too complex, there are too many things, and it also doesn't have all of the information that's held in one of these mmCIF formats. So this PDBx, this mmCIF format, that is compatible with the 12-digit ones, both the adapted old ones and what will be the new ones when in the future when they run out of the 4-digit ones and then they start just doing these longer ones. And so the PDBx mmCIF, basically the Protein Data Bank Exchange Macromolecular Crystallographic Information Framework. And the files end with .cif, not .pdb. So .cif, the Crystallographic Information Framework. And then the is just because it's for like this macromolecular stuff. And so, but the file ends with .cif. Now, these .cif files, you can already use them, and so it's kind of already becoming the standard, and so when you go and you are on the PDB, you're going to want to download that PDBx mmCIF format file, even for ones that have the legacy format, because the legacy format is getting basically phased out, and it's not going to be compatible with things. These 12-digit extended PDBs are already compatible with molecular viewing software. So say I wanted to use PyMol. What I could do is I could do fetch and then PDB underscore 12349CN3, and that will get me the structure that we were just looking at. Now, if you do the kind of cheat way, the file and then you go to get PDB, this does not work with those longer codes yet, and I assume that there'll be some update in the future so it can, but right now this way only works with the 4-digit code, but you can type the fetch in down here. Another option is that you could actually download the files from the PDB, and this way they're saved on your computer. And then what you could do is you could just open them in your PyMol. So you can go to File, Open, or what you could actually do is you can even just drag the CIF file into your viewer. And so it's hard to see because it was already there, but now you see I have 2 copies of it. And so start switching to those longer file names, start switching to the mmCIF files. I'm going to go into all the technical reasons, but basically the PDB, the old files, they don't hold as much information and they have a very strict format where there's like a set number of columns and they are a specified length, and that prevents you from having really long complex molecules and from doing things like having your map data, which you can have with this mmCIF format. Computers work nicer with them. Also, there's some 4-character combinations that are abbreviations for genes or for proteins. And so actually some of the older PDB IDs, like the original ones, they actually made sense about what they were. Like some of the hemoglobin ones are like HBB and stuff. But the newer ones, they're just kind of random, but they're running out of them. And so this will avoid a lot of confusion with names that are not supposed to indicate something, but then you're going and you're searching for gigahertz, and then you find that you have like GHZ in your code, and then all there's that problems. But these are all going to start with PDB underscore 12340, so PDB underscore 0000, and then put the old code number to adapt the old code to an extended PDB ID. The new ones are just going to be with that whole extended code from the beginning, but they're still going to start with that PDB underscore. And so keep a lookout for those, but for now, start making the transition to this PDBx mmCIF file format and start using these longer codes because that's what's going to be used by those formats. They think that they're going to be out by like 2029, and so after 2029 they're just going to be offering the extended ones. But the extended ones are already available, and you're always going to be able to kind of just extend the code of the older codes in order to be able to access those structures you want before. If you want any more information, check out this website. There's also a good webinar you can watch. I'll link to. Be forewarned and be prepared, and go ahead and start the switch. Hope this helps, and happy transitioning.